Good morning, good morning, and welcome to your business and digital. We are live. I am super excited to be here. Good morning, team. How are you doing this morning? Hump
It's
day.
Wednesday.
I'm
Hi.
good. I'm good.
I don't think anybody's as good as you this morning.
We're all
How about
pushing.
what you had?
We're all definitely pushing through. But today is going to be an amazing, amazing show. Today we are talking about one of my favorite topics, which is optimization. So it's going to be a great show. So I know we'll find our energy. So let's get it in. Let's go to the intro. All right, so we are back. We are back. All right, let me get the important stuff out of the way because I know I have to do that. So we want you to connect with us at your business digital. Okay, this is the show that you have to tell any small business executive about. You have to tell the CEO, the CFO, the CMO. You got to tell them about the show because we helped you connect the dots with everything digital, right? How do you get to that place of money in the bank with digital? We break down all the strategies here for you. We talk about the things you should know as a business executive because we understand that you are also running the business, trying to achieve those goals. And sometimes digital can be super daunting. So we want to change the conversation and have you say, digital helped me increase my revenue by 10%. It helped me increase my revenue by 20%. So definitely share the show and connect with us. Connect with us on YouTube at Your Business and Digital. Connect with us on LinkedIn. We are live on LinkedIn and YouTube right now at Your Business and Digital. And connect with us wherever podcasts are found. We are everywhere you can find a podcast. So definitely check us out and share this information. We're helping you to get to that place of money in the bank through your digital activities and really understanding, all the things you need to know to help you work with your agency better, to help you present the right information to your CFO, to make your sales team happy, to help operations flow, and of course, to make sure that marketing is driving the right thing, right target audience back to your business. So check us out. It up a little bit. What talk track is, I'm like, okay, how do I fine tune this? I'm realizing the more I talk to people and the more I hear certain things, I'm like, okay, cool, we can start leaning into this so I can switch up the talk track. So in some conversations yesterday, so I'm pushing to get to that ideal talk track of what do we say here at the show? So, all right. Moving along quickly, want to do a quick recap of the conversation we had on Monday. Monday was an amazing conversation. It was heavy, Michael.
It was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation. We all had something to say. So, Mike, I'm going to kick it over to you to talk a little bit about the recap and those workflows and lead nurturing. Go for it.
Sure thing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again this morning. So, on Monday, we talked about lead nurturing and workflows. And what did we talk about? How implementing workflows can streamline your lead generation process. This is by giving a structured approach to that lead nurturing process. It's not only automation, it's about flagging people internally, all the members of the team having that one source of truth. We also talked about what role does that digital marketing automation workflows play in nurturing and converting leads. Well, of course, it's all about getting rid of some of that heavy lifting. And how can those workflows help in tracking and measuring each interaction with a potential lead? Well, every lead is going to leave some bit of data as they progress through your funnel. They're going to give you more and more data. And you're going to know if it's working or not. And that goes down to the last one, the key indicators to measure your success. It's that, are they moving through your funnel? Are they converting at the end? How long is it taking? So a lot of good stuff we talked about on Monday with lead nurturing and workflows. Workflows have come about, subsequent to email sequences. So they give you a lot of flexibility in terms of outlining your processes, making them happen automatically, yes, while still delivering that personalized feel to your customers. So that's what we talked about on Monday. If you missed it, definitely go back and take a look.
Monday was a great conversation. The workflow process is something that kind of goes on. People don't really talk about it, right? In marketing, you kind of hear all the the bells and whistles, right? Social media, Instagram, TikTok, but the nitty gritty of that workflow that really shifts the game for how to connect with sales, how to keep finance in the loop, how to keep all the stakeholders in the loop, when to join the conversation, to move from automation to join the conversation with the target audience. It's such an important part of your digital strategy. So it was a great conversation. I felt like we talked about it a lot. we had
Yes, we had Nia giving us some looks at it in the back there that, we were going up a little bit over time, but, it was worth it. It was worth it. Workflows are really essential.
We were quite excited on Monday, so we were a little passionate about our topic and got just a tad bit off track, just a tad bit.
But it was such a worthy topic, though. It was such a worthy topic to understand how workflows can help you in your process. I love it. My favorite part is the fact that, and Michael just said it, everybody's on the same page. That's what workflows allows, that everybody has the same information. They're pulling from the same data. So therefore, the decision that will be made is made in a structured way, and we're not doing things haphazard, because once things are being done haphazardly, then it becomes inefficient and, well, money goes out the door. So,
And it's way easier for things to fall through cracks when you have a longer nurture cycle, right? You didn't know that they reached out at a certain point, or they reached out to somebody who didn't escalate and needed to, right? So workflows really can capture all of those gaps, close those gaps, make sure that that prospect continues to be nurtured throughout until that point of conversion. And as you said, everybody knows what's happening.
100%. So, thank you for everyone that is joining us this morning. We have like 3 people live with us. We still need to work out the kinks of what is happening with our StreamYard, because sometimes it's just really hard to see. It used to be so good before. I don't know. Anywho, so moving on along, I know we're moving on to our hot topic segment. I'm a little about what it is, because I see a picture in the background, but I shall.
Let me tell you, this one. So okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. So XAI has come to the fore, and it's called Grok. That's the name. Now, if you're wondering, and you're probably wondering, where is this name coming from? Grok. Is this an ogre? Is this Shrek's distant cousin? I don't know. But it's a term that's coined from a science fiction writer, Robert Heinlein, in a 1961 novel called Stranger in a Strange Land. Grokking means to empathize deeply with others. So that's setting the stage for this conversation on our hot topic this morning. X has launched a new AI chatbot called Grok, which is intended to be anti-woke and less censored than other chatbots. So what's this about? It's only available to X Premium Plus tier users, and it will source its data from X, which gives it a vast amount of information in real time. Now, when we say anti-woke, what does that mean? So a sample response that they've given you for Grok reads like this: searching for news about SBF since November 3rd, 2023. And the response that it gives is, "Oh, my dear human, I have some juicy news for you. It seems that our friend Sam Bankman-Fried, the former cryptocurrency mogul, has been found guilty on all counts of his fraud trial. Can you believe it? The jury just took 8 hours to figure out what happened, figure out what the supposed smartest, best VCs in the world couldn't in years." And it goes on in that type of language, right? So as part of anti-woke, its anti-woke model, it's less censorship of potentially sensitive topics. So that means where the other AIs, OpenAI, Bard, etc., you can't ask it certain things. It will demur and say, well, it doesn't have information to help you. Information like how to commit a crime, let's say, right? Things that they don't want you asking AI. How to build something that you should be building, right? So it's designed to be, in Elon's words, a better representation of truth. Now, is this Twitter's truth? Elon's truth? You know there are 3 forms of truth, right? So it will be, they feel it will be more accurate source of truth especially on real-time news topics, because X is so good at real-time news topics, because it's sourcing that data from X. It's also looking, X is also looking to cut off other generative AIs from its API, especially OpenAI, who Musk has personal grievances with. We're not going into that, but we know that he has. As a result, Grok and X's other AI products will be among the limited that have few access to the full X firehouse of information, which in theory is a significant advantage. But at the same time, X has already begun losing traction as a key news discussion platform. Any change in this respect is significant, because while X has 244 million daily users, 80% of those users are in read-only mode. So this is learning only from 20% of the users, and it gets better. Of those 20% of users, 40% or so follow sports. So that means you just decrease the amount of information it's getting relative to news. So that's the hot topic. Nia, give me some more slides. Let's see. It's still in limited testing, as I said. Available to X Premium Plus subscribers only. Yeah, you could go ahead, Nia. That's all right. Because I'm just seeing the faces in the background. If y'all are listening, and I wish you could see the panel's faces in the background. So it's going to focus on real-time news. The main thing is less censorship. So you can ask it certain questions that, maybe you couldn't ask the other AIs. I don't know what it means. We normally end the hot topic with, what does this mean for small business? You know what? I don't know what it means for small business. I am concerned. The article, of course, you can check this out on social media today. It kind of ends with what could possibly go wrong, right? So
Oh boy. What could possibly go wrong as we do our dance of where do we sit in the virtual space?
correct.
So for those of you listening in, we're always switching around, making sure we're all in the right spaces. I mean, I'm grokked out. I tried to not Elon. But all the terms, anti woke. It's just so broad and so vague, that term woke. It's a pet peeve of mine. When I hear it, I'm just like, what does it mean? You know what I mean? Like, you take a word and you redefine it, and everyone has this message, and then you're right. Is it the truth according to Elon? I don't even like saying his name that much. Is it his truth? Is it, so yeah, I have nothing for it. But again, it's an AI tool. So that's personally, from a professional standpoint. If you're on Twitter, check it out. Or if you're on X, check it out, see how it works, compare it, right? As a business owner, what you want to do is you want to get into that space of comparison. Does this work for me? Is it giving me the information? And also, when using AI, the thing we have to look at is, and Jeff talked about this, right? AI has no soul. You put your tone of voice, all the things into the AI tool. So even if it writes something for you, ask it a question, you get that information, you have to pull it back and say, okay, cool. Is this information, number one, is it accurate? So you have to do some verification. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe find an encyclopedia or something. But you have to do some verification around that information. And then you also have to look at, where am I adding my voice into this, right? What are you using the AI tool for? And, I don't know, let's Grok on.
And while he's taking, there are some interesting aspects to his take on AI per se, where if we are teaching machine learning, if we're doing generative AI, what is that learning model based on? Is it everything? Can AI discern good from bad, let's say, literally? So, I kind of get, what he's trying to push, but at the same time, it's, try to imagine this now in terms of, AI embedding, right? So what we've seen with all these AIs is they've been embedded into other platforms. There's been no talk about where this might be implemented yet. So like OpenAI, we know might be the engine behind a lot of the tools we use, right? Same thing for Bard. So is XAI, is Grok going to be now implemented? And if it is implemented and you're using it for content creation, say, what does that mean? Is it giving you is it going to give you a little unbiased, kind of answer that says, hey, listen, this is a potentially hot topic, etc., etc.? We don't know. So what it means for business, like I said, only time and experimentation will tell.
Everybody's like,
I have no words. Just blown away at here we go, Elon, Muskin again. Like, come on, man. It's just wow. But I mean, I take your point, Michael. We have to think about what it means. If you look at AI as on the whole, how it's being embedded. If you were to embed Grok into your process, what kind of message will you be putting out there? And is that a message that you want to go out there? Are you anti woke like Grok? I mean, it's just a lot for me to grasp this morning. It's a lot.
Michelle.
Whew, there's a meme for me right now. There is a meme for me.
your whole face is a meme right now. For the last 5 years, she's been capturing.
Lesson for small business on what not to do. On what not to do. I'm really speechless on this one. I think it's the attempt in what I see he's trying to do and to block out what he perceives as competition. By as Michael said, and one of the things that they will not have access to anything. So he is making sure through technology that he eliminates that from his space. I find that really interesting in that attempt. And he was real crystal clear in what the objective was. He's trying to keep you in this space, control what the environment has there. He is trying to monetize it. Remember, Michael said one of the components of it is that you have to be, I think, subscribed to the premium component of it.
Yes.
No, let's move on. I'm done. I just can't today. I'm going to drink some coffee now because he did find his lanyard. He found his something extra, an extra way to move people out of his on platform.
It with baggage, right? Because he was initially a part of ChatGPT in the very beginning.
Correct.
Right? So there's, it can't be anti-woke or whatever that is, because it's competitive, right? So it seems like, internet, we have this thing we say we call, when you toting, when you're carrying.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, he's just like
he seems to have a tabanka.
Yeah, like I got beef. I'm about to smack down another AI, is whatever, and then it's gonna look like this. While I talk about the other one being woke, right? So, but people. ChatGPT, people are using Bard, they're using the other tools as well too. So I think it really comes back down to get caught up in the politics of Elon. If you are
right.
It works for you, it works for you. Still verify, pay attention. You're a small business. You do not want to get caught up in that environment for your business. You really just want to be clear exactly what's going on, what tool are you using. Have an AI plan. That is the thing, right? How are you going to use AI? What are you going to use it for? Just have an AI plan for your business.
Have AI. And he is doing exactly what he intended for people to talk about him, to keep his name in the news, to keep his interests somewhere in the forefront of global conversations. And I'll give him credit for that. I think I'm going to end there.
Yeah, that's a guy with a little bit too much power for my liking, but c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. So that was our hot topic for today. I knew it would cause a bit of eye rolls.
Boo you, but we're gonna give you a round.
No, but that's okay. I will give you claps just on this one. You're stretching it though, Michael. You're stretching it with them.
No, to be fair,
Yes,
this was brought to me by Nia. Nia saw it and said, "Hey, Mike, there's a hot topic." I was like, "They don't want to discuss Elon." I was
Mia.
like, Nia, they're gonna roll the eye. So we went back and
You
forth. We
throwing
looked at
me
a
under
couple of
the
things.
bus? Is that what happened?
No, it's a good hot topic.
Oh, you just
I didn't.
wait.
Nia says she loves to stir the pot. So yeah, it's not true. This is giving up, where credit is due. I didn't see it. I was like, okay. Elon is in the game. I did some other looking to see, well, okay, what's Grok? Why is it named Grok? Etc. Etc. Just going down that rabbit hole. So great job, Nia. Great hot topic.
Great job, Nia. You definitely got us on here.
If any of our listeners are Premium Plus subscribers on X and have had a chance, please hit us a message. Let us know what you found, what you've tried. We'd love to know, because we're not going to subscribe to get it.
We're not doing it. So we went way over. But that's all right. We all had to say what we felt. We felt a lot. All right. So we are moving on along to one of my favorite segments. On the like segment is where we really take you beyond those likes and follows to some of the true strategies you should be working on for your business, right? What are those digital marketing strategies? If you're working with an agency, what are the strategies that they're implementing? So this is where we talk about that stuff, right? Really going beyond those likes and follows, because we want to get you to that place of money in the bank through digital, get you to that place where you're saying a 10% increase in revenue, a 20% increase in revenue, leveraging digital. So today we are talking about data-driven decisions. Oh, my own sound effects. The key to digital marketing optimization. And, this is one of my favorite topics because optimization just does not get enough love. Optimization is probably the most important digital marketing strategy that you will have in as you're building out all your strategies. It is the thing that you will look at to say, this is the thing that is working. I'm going to keep refining it and getting maximizing the revenue and the opportunities from it, right? I'm going to keep just, it's like you ever have a cloth, it's wet and you're just like wringing it out to get everything from it. Optimization is like that, like just wringing it out. You want to get everything you can from it. So as you implement digital marketing strategies, you kind of have to say, okay, what's working? Okay, I saw this drove me revenue. I saw this drove me leads. How do I lean into this? How do I double down on this? What are the numbers I'm looking at to solve for it? So it is, again, the most important strategy. So if you're working with an agency, you always want to ask, how are we optimizing? And what does that optimization look like? And what are the results based on those optimizations? So just a quick overview of, the conversation for today. So go for it, Michael. What is our point number one or question number one?
All right. So, yeah, I know you're excited about this. So let's get it going. What's the significance of digital marketing optimization for small businesses? Let's go.
Oh, this is where you get to, as I said before, this is where you get to kind of go back and say, this is working, this isn't working. And you also get to A/B test different things. Many times we're implementing strategies, right? I remember, especially when I worked in corporate America, right? There'd be strategies that would be implemented and it'd be like, hey, we pulled together a huge marketing plan and they would just implement, but there'd be no optimization along the way. There was no check and balance to say, hey, if this isn't working, what do we do next? If this is working, what do we do next, right? Those conversations weren't happening. There were these big plans implementing, but no room for optimization. And then the next year, it's the same thing over and over. So optimization is where small businesses especially can get to the heart of really fine-tuning a budget, a cost per click, for instance. Those things can become more effective. You understand where all the budget dollars are going. And then you say, hey, it was going in this direction, but this is working for us. Let's push more money over to this area, right? You understand more about your target audience. You're leaning into them. You're speaking their love language. They're coming to you and you're like, yeah, this email worked because it was really personalized and it fed into their pain points. So you're getting to the nitty gritty of what it takes to move someone from the place of brand awareness to converting with you, and you're getting there in a more efficient manner all the time. So that's what optimizing for a small business, that's really the importance of it. It helps you get to, sometimes you're spending less money and able to push those budgets in other directions, right? And I know money is always an important conversation for Andrea. So optimize.
Andrea, how are you feeling about optimization? As you mentioned, you and money.
Well, yeah, optimization is the key to spending that very little money that you have to spending it well, right? Optimization is where you get to do these tweaks, you get to keep your ear close to the ground and see, okay, if I make this shift, what happens without waiting a whole year, as she said, what happens in the corporate space. A whole year later, you're looking at the results and you're wondering what went wrong, right? The answer is in the moment when it was happening, you didn't optimize, you didn't tweak to respond to the change. You let the event happen and then you waiting to see. So optimization for a small business, yeah, that's where you really, as she just, I love how she described it. You're really wringing that towel dry because you're like, there's what's left, what juice is left in there, yeah. So that it's a key factor in spending the money well.
Absolutely. So that's just the start of it. And that's the significance of digital marketing optimization for small businesses. Now, that takes us to the next question, which is how can a small business identify the key areas within its digital marketing strategy that require optimization? Go for it.
Yeah, you got to look at your analytics, right? I talk about that enough, and I'm going to kick it over to Michelle to talk about that too. You got to look at the data points. You got to look at the benchmark. You have to understand your industry, understanding your industry, doing the market research. And I see that a lot with small businesses, especially in the digital space. They do the market research offline, but the market research online doesn't happen. And they're not looking at the analytics, right? So that industry benchmark information along with analytics is really, really, those are the areas where you identify what needs to be changed in your digital strategy. So you have to become one with your analytics, whether you understand analytics or not. You have to get to that place where you're saying, these are the KPIs that I know about. These are the KPIs that me and my agency talked about. I understand these because I see the path forward. And then I'm looking at these benchmarks in the industry to say, hey, my click-through rate was a 6%, but the industry's click-through rate is at 8%. We need to move up a little bit more. So you're always balancing. And that's not as daunting as it appears because you're doing that offline most of the time, right? You're doing that anyway. Digital has just been kind of like all the bells and whistles and all the pretty stuff, and seems to confuse you, but kind of bring it back to the basics of what you've been doing to say, these are the benchmarks online, and this is what's working well, and these are the numbers I'm looking at, right? What are the numbers that are important to me, and defining that in the beginning.
Oh, see, you done started something with this. I think it is the star of the show. It is, the spotlight is in this one very place. It is in the party, that person that's the center of attention, that has all of the information, and that you just want to lean in and listen and absorb and take it all in, because you're going to get the information that you need to make your next best decision. It is the gift that keeps on giving, because it's all coming to you when you've done it correctly. And you're at the point of that. There's so much good stuff coming your way that you've got to make a great decision on which route should I take, because all of it's there for the taking. I love the data component. I'm a data girl, and enjoy that information because it helps you to take the feeling out of everything that comes your way. The numbers give you the story, and it tells you the route that you need to take, and or not take. Even as important, where not to go. And it helps the entire audience, and and all of the stakeholders, all four of us, with a different opinion at the table, to make a sound decision, because the numbers are going to guide you in the right direction. Validate, give you some comfort and help you to make that decision to move along. And as you said, the benchmark, try something, come back and look at what the competitive landscape has said, and that's your point of reference for judgment and success. Is this the right place that I need to move? Or no, that's not where I need to go. Let's park that one and let's try a different route, because the data will give you the indication on where you need to go.
And if you're still not sure, this is where you bring in an agency as well. That's how you could identify what key areas need optimization. Sometimes, because we've talked a lot that there are a lot of digital marketing metrics, and that sometimes you don't know which metric you need to look at. So yes, you may be very aware of what's not happening. This campaign is not performing, but you're not sure where the friction lies in that process. So sometimes you do need to bring in somebody externally and say, listen, look at my strategy, look at my plan, look at my goals, and tell me, what do I need to change? What do I need to tweak? Not necessarily rebuild the entire thing. A lot of the time, it's just to make small changes and see the result happen. Right. So yeah.
So I just want to add one quick thing to that, right? The data points become actionable insights, right? So it's really about how do you get those data points to become the action that you take. And that's where the gap usually is, right? The gap is usually like, I don't understand these data points, so I can't turn them into actionable insights. But I think, Mike, you hit the nail on the head. That's where your agency should be helping you. That's where you bring in an agency to say, what does this mean? And how do I translate this now into those actionable steps?
All right. Yeah. No, we can't go backwards. I know we want to go more into this. So, just like, so we're going to go to number 3 and get into a little bit of the tactical of it. So number 3 is, what are some of the best practices for optimizing website content to improve search engine rankings? And this should be an interesting answer, especially given AI layered into search now. Go for it, T.
Yeah. So, what's always important is the keyword research, right? We start everything with keyword research. If a client, I was talking to a client the other day, a potential client the other day, and in pulling the proposal together, the first thing I did was pull the keyword research, the landscape, to understand what's going on, so they have an understanding of what's going on, right? It gives them an idea of the market share, right? So the keywords are important, because think about it. In Google, in Bing, in all these tools, we actually put in keywords. Sometimes we're putting in full-on questions. So that's really important for you to start showing up as the response, as the answer. So how is that happening for you? Are you showing up as the answer, right? Quality content. Creating that quality content. It's so important for a small business to create that quality content, because when someone puts in the keyword, when someone puts in the question, what do they want? An answer. So if you are not creating quality content that gives them the answer, they click, they come in, and then they're like, oh, this isn't the answer. Let me go to the other place, right? Or maybe you've just answered the first question. You have an opportunity to answer a few more questions. The other thing, some of the technical sides of optimization is around the meta descriptions, right? When you go into Bing or you go into Google, you put in a keyword, you see the little blurb that shows up underneath, right? That actually is the thing that's telling your consumer, this is the right place. You've come to the right place and they have the answer. You're in control of that. So your agency is in control of that. Those are the things you want to know. You want to check to see, hey, what shows up there? Does it explain my business? Does it explain who I am? Does it answer their question, right? So important, you want to understand those technical elements. Optimizing images. Now, this is something we take for granted, right? I'm sure so many of us are in Canva and we're like, we save something and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 .jpg. Well, the opportunity that you have is to name it Monovan Digital, the name of the business, and then say, hey, this is a picture of a woman at the beach or whatever the case may be. And it ties into, give a little bit of explanation how it ties into the overall thing. So optimizing images also helps with your keyword search, right? It helps to show up in Google when you go to the image search. Those are where so you have the words, and then you have the images. That's where that shows up. It's also really great for people who are, people with disabilities as well too. So optimizing those images become really important. And then one of the most important things is mobile optimization. My phone is right here. Everyone's phone is right next to them. Mobile optimization. You cannot have a website that is not optimized for mobile. And everything that you want to happen needs to happen within this little area right here. That first call to action, the things you want them to do. Will people scroll? Some of them will, but probably, 90% of them are like, did it answer my question? I clicked on the keyword. I saw that little blurb. Does the landing page answer my question? And so on mobile, how does that work? Where's the image showing up? Where's the call to action showing up? Making sure you're paying attention to all those things, because they really matter for the user experience and the customer journey.
All right, comments, go ahead.
I was just, as both of you were talking and talking through the best practices, what I found important, and something that you said, was that it takes not the thinking out of it, but it helps you to know that you're on the right path. It's a GPS. Like you said, we start, and we have been pulled back on track many a day when we were trying to refine topics for this show, and a number of things where we, like you said, we started off with some words, put in a couple of questions. I remember a couple of times where we leaned in and said, oh, for real, that's what people are really looking for? And it helped to, again, define. It kept us on track. We asked a question and it responded back to us and said, well, actually, this is what people are really asking for. So it will help you as a small business owner looking to attract an audience and understanding how you need to communicate or what they're really searching for. It will take that mystery away from you, and it will make it black and white and allow you to really understand, is this the right client for me? What are they seeking? And how do I now answer their call in a way that makes them want to say yes to me, know, like, and trust you, and then buy your services or your product? So it's a really great place to lean into, because it helps to take the mystery out of it and make it black and white, and takes the feelings out of it, and then helps you to refine and be comfortable and be confident, because it's giving you a skinnier way and a smaller funnel and tunnel to stay focused on your specific topic or client.
Absolutely. Will we get through all 7? But if you're listening, this pairs well with our episode, Why Your Website is Not a Magazine. And what we're basically saying here is that this is all the reasons why your website is not one and done and walk away and leave it. People ask questions, and they may ask the same question, but in different ways over time. So we know that our customer behavior changes, and that's one of the core reasons why you want to go in and look at all those areas that Tamara mentioned, all those areas that Michelle mentioned, and say, listen, what do I change now, given that this is the customer behavior that I'm seeing, which all of this is, of course, based on the data that we're seeing. So before Nia gives me a ping, I'm going to go to the next question. How can small businesses leverage social media platforms for digital marketing optimization?
I think this is a good one. And I know Andrea, we talk about this all the time, right? Choosing the right platform, right? Because I think that's in the beginning, we all think, before we were all thinking it's Instagram. And then understanding that, is Instagram the right platform? It's not a bad platform. I feel like I always talk about it. Some people are like, she hates Instagram. I don't. Is it the right platform? Is my target audience there? Or is my platform really YouTube, right? We get caught up in the trendy. So choosing the right platform is important. And it's always about, on social media, you have to create engaging content. Social media is the hello to your business, right? This is where you get to say, hey, how are you? I'm Monovan Digital. This is what we're doing here. So you want to create engaging content. It's the attracting content that you start bringing in social media, right? It's that thing that catches their eye. They're like, oh, hold on, I need to move in this direction, because everything else is so busy and there's a lot, right? So you have to attract them and draw them in and track with that content. Being consistent. I mean, we could teach a masterclass of being consistent. All right, 365 days in a row. I always get an opportunity to plug when I spend 365 days in a row on Clubhouse talking to small businesses about digital marketing. And it was the game changer for our business. It was the game changer, it was the catalyst for this show, because that consistency showed businesses that we were there all the time, that there was a place to come and listen, and we built a community. And that really helped us to really shift how we put our strategy together. So consistency allows you to see people engage, their interactions. Then you get to take those data points and switch it up and fix it and make it better. We're not doing 365 days in a row, but we have a consistent show that has seasons, that is like on a Monday. And so people know where to find us on a Monday and a Wednesday. They know exactly where to find us at 7 a.m. talking to you about your business in digital, right? So that's consistency. And analytics. Social media has analytics. I talk to so many people that use these tools and actually don't check the analytics, right? Every social media tool has analytics. Is it good analytics? Sometimes it's not so great, right? But you want to take the information to understand, is my post getting visibility? What is happening? What's the action? What action are they taking? And then understanding your call to action. You probably want to move them off the social media platforms into your world. So what's your call to action? And for those people that want to move through your funnel, you want to move them in and say, okay, hit this button, give me your email address, and then maybe start talking to them. Also, running ads on social media could be a really great way to leverage social media. Running ads, but you also need to understand the ads that you're running. You should work with an agency to start building it. Don't just jump in and boost a post. Understand the target audience. Don't send it to everyone, because you could waste a lot of money there as well. But you want to make sure that you are using the right ad strategy and you're hitting the right people. So social media is a great, great tool, but keep in mind, it is hello. It is not where you're having the full conversation. And you must think about the other areas to continue the conversation.
Well timed, Nia. Well timed. Andrea, comments.
Yeah, I love the part where, the right platform, because to us, like, we have this conversation all the time about what is the right platform for you to say this hello. Do you want to speak to those people in that room? Because if they're not your ideal customer, you're wasting time, and wasted time equals wasted money, wasted resources, because you're probably going to be trying to sell them something that they're not ready to buy, or that they never wanted in the first place, because again, not your room, right? I have a saying, not my monkeys, not my circus, right? So that's not for me. So you as a business owner have to figure out, where's your circus? Where do you want to play? Right? So for me as a business owner, I've been fiddling with it. I still believe LinkedIn is the place that has my ideal customer. When I keep looking at LinkedIn more and more, I'm convinced, like, these are the type of people I like to have a conversation with, right? And more I see it, because things like the connections are better. Even if it doesn't lead to a sale right away, it leads to something that eventually brings in money. So it might be a connection of a connection, it might be the opportunity to speak, it might be the opportunity to collaborate. So you have to figure that out. I don't get that on Instagram at all. Right? Instagram for me is just, for me right now, my Instagram and Facebook are like placeholders, because I feel like, okay, people just, they want somewhere to go. But then when they go there, my link tree sends them back to LinkedIn. I go here, well, check me out on LinkedIn, because this is where I feel most comfortable. And most times when people ask to speak to me, or even want to know about me, I say, check me out on LinkedIn. I feel more comfortable sending people there. And that leads me to my second point when we spoke about the consistency. Even me as a business owner, sharing other business owners, I always try to share, where are you strongest, right? So which one is your best profile? That's one. And two, that the consistency part. I'm not going to share your profile if you haven't posted in 3 months. That makes no sense. If I'm trying to recommend you to someone and I say, yeah, this person talks about this all the time, you should go and check them out. And I do this all the time on my calls. If I see there's a need for something, and I think, and I say, hey, I know this person who does this service. You might want to check them out. I know this photographer really well, or I follow them as well, and they share great tips or whatever. But I'm not going to share if you're not being consistent and we're not seeing any traction on your page. So just remember it's consistency for the consumer, yes, but also for people like me who may want to recommend you, and then there's nothing to share.
Great point, Andrea. I want to just dig in just a little for 10 seconds. So we've got to remember that the behavior now is not to make a phone call. It's not to scroll to the bottom of the page and find a phone number. It's to check your profiles online. So that is why everything that Andrea said is so great, because that's the behavior that we deal with. You meet, you get involved with somebody, you're talking to them, and immediately you go and you check your profile. So that's why it's important to make sure you're continually optimizing. And I just did a little switcheroo there because I thought this flow was better. So that takes us to question number 5.
So wait, before you move
Yep,
on, a
sure.
piece that we didn't talk about in social media that is a piece that's important, right? It's social media is social, so you must engage. You must respond. You must come off of your profile and go to other people's profile. If someone says good morning to you, you go and you say good morning back, you respond, because just like Andrea talked about, people are watching, they're sending to you. So how are you interacting with people? If people respond to you and you say nothing, they're like, oh, they're really not responsive. So social media is that hello, not just to you saying hello to someone, it's also someone saying hello to you, verifying you, and somewhat judging you.
Oh, you stumped me there. Stumped me. But yes, you're right. I mean, you're right, and you're real. They're judging, right? That's the start of it. So that takes us to the 5th question, which is, how can email marketing be optimized to maximize customer engagement and conversion rates?
So email marketing it's the hidden gem because people spend so much time on social media thinking about social media and their strategies that they forget about email marketing. Sometimes they're not even doing email marketing. I used to work at brands like Hilton. I used to work at brands like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The majority of their money is made through email marketing, right? They will send out, if you think of any brand that you know, any big brand that you know, think about how many emails you get from them. They're not sending those emails because people don't buy or they want to annoy you. They understand your behavior. They're sending them to you because they understand that you can convert. They've done their homework. So you want to think about email marketing as well. You want to think about that optimization, the personalization, the, where are they coming down? If they came in from social media and they gave you a bit of information, how are you reflecting that back into the email itself, right? Are you giving them 10 tips? Are you giving them something that they can take to the next step, that they can do something with? And understanding the analytics is really important as well, because it'll tell you, are they opening your email? Are they clicking on the thing? Are they doing anything? And one other thing about email that we tend not to do is, because sometimes we don't want the response, is ask people to reply and get some feedback, right? There's an opportunity there for you to say, hey, if you liked this email, hit reply and give me your points. And it can really start some engagement pieces for you that you may not have considered. So customer data is so important, personalizing, and it helps you to streamline. We talk about customer journey. We talk about you have to be customer centric in your strategy. Yeah. So the customer is at the forefront of it all. So every bit of information that you get from them is going to be really important to helping you refine that strategy. Michelle, I know you got something.
Well, I want to add a partner to email marketing in today's day and age, especially since, we brought up our phone, and consider, along with your email marketing strategy, what your texting game all about as well. Because in the same realm of how do we communicate, and how does your target audience want to be communicated, those same principles can apply to that text messaging. How are they responding? Are you quicker to respond to a text that will take me to a blog article, or get me to quicker respond and say, type in yes or 1 as a reply back, and do you want this? Those kind of call and response actions are key in both spaces, and the messages is from that optimization in both places to move them from a social space into a more comfortable space where it's a bit quieter, where one-on-one type action will get to know, trust each other a bit more to solidify that relationship and move the relationship to a trusting space to make that sale. So it all is relational. Everything that we've talked about in past shows, it's in this space, and optimization is going to help you to achieve that in the social setting, in the way that you're doing paid or free advertising, in the way that you're communicating offline. It's optimizing all of those key components and making it from where everybody's there to bringing it down where you're having a quieter conversation and moving things along at a faster clip in a way that's more personalized as well.
Oh, I love that. So, yeah, the imagery you just gave there. So if we were to go back just to recap where we've gotten to so far, social media performs as that, those banners, your SEO, same thing, those banners to your place. And then what we're seeing here is email is your greeter, your concierge, right? This is where you get a chance to speak to somebody a little bit. So that's your concierge. And you really want to use that segmentation. So I heard this, I had to say that we are building out back to that digital marketing ecosystem. We are building out and simplifying what each role is of each thing in the ecosystem. So email is your concierge. And before Nia pings me, because she did already, let's go to the next question. What role does customer data play in the optimization of digital marketing campaigns? Well,
It's the most important piece, right? It is the most important piece. There's no business without the customer information. You start off your business with a target audience, and then you work to get to an ideal customer. That customer data is the thing that gets you to the ideal customer, right? So you kind of have to move away from the target audience, and the way to move away from target to ideal is understanding them, right? I said it before. We have to be customer centric. We sometimes as businesses, we're so caught up and we focus in on our business goals and what we're trying to accomplish, and we're not thinking about the consumer. I was talking to someone yesterday, and we were kind of just having a high level conversation. And one of the things I always like to say is, well, tell me about your behavior online. Think about your behavior online and what you do when you go down the rabbit hole. And I was just like, that it's as simple as that. If you move away from something really quickly because it didn't give you the information, don't you think your customer will do that? So when you start to put that hat on of me as a customer and watching your behavior, you start thinking, oh my God, does my customer do things like this? Are they, because we are wild cards when we are on our phones rabbit holing. We're like, here. I want to know this, I want to know that. And if you stay in a place where you're getting all the answers, right? So the minute you put your customer hat on, and the first step in putting your customer hat on is being super observant for the next 30 days. Here's my 30-day challenge to you. This is the only one I'm going to give. Okay. I hate 30-day challenges, but here we go. My 30-day challenge to you is pay attention to your behavior. Pay attention to everything that you do online. You go on your phone, when you walk away from something, when you go a little bit deeper, understand those things. And that gives you a framework to start the conversation about your customer, their behavior, and those data points. The customer data, what they do, is so important because that's how you go back to optimize and refine everything that you do. Did this piece of content work? Oh, no one opened it. No one clicked on it. They weren't interested in this. But they went to this page and they read this information. Maybe I need to swap this out with this because this seems more important. They spent about 2 minutes on this page digging in here. How do I get this to the forefront, right? Think about those things. Watch your behavior for the next 30 days and just pay attention to you as a customer, and it's going to shift the game for you.
I tell you, amen. There are two things in this realm that I want to say about the customer that we've said, again, for the last 3 years that we've been in here. And the first one is, it is not about you. It is about your client. It is about your client. Essentially, it is about you in the long run, but in order for it to be about you, you've got to make it about the client first. Make it about them. Lean in and understand what they want and keep them at the forefront of things. And it will help you to understand and communicate better and translate things in a way that they understand when you're not in your brain, but listening and understanding what their calls have been and how they need you to respond to them. And the second piece is everybody's not your customer. And what optimization will teach you when you're focused in and understand who your target audience is at the start, and as this will tell you who your ideal is, it's going to give you that information if you're paying attention to it Your ideal client is, it will allow you to say, this is the space I need to be in, but this whole block ain't mine. It's, this house is where I need to center. And you can pick one of the 3 or 4 doors I have to come in my house. And we'll take you along that journey and where I want you to be. But no, everybody's not your people. And hone in and listen to the people when they are coming to you. Your data is giving you those things that you need to know if you're focused on and putting them first. Not you, but your client.
Absolutely. And I'm going to chime in on Andrea's behalf here. So from an operational standpoint, that customer data is going to also determine what you're doing internally and what you're not doing, what you're spending on and what you're not spending on. That's why I said I was giving her lead in, because if you're spending, let's say you're working with an agency who's charged with producing 30 posts for you, right? But the data says that those 30 posts, not even 15 of them are working really. You're spending bad money, right? So this is where, you're also wasting time. If you're producing these things internally, you're producing your content internally, you're not listening to the customer data, you can find yourself doing a lot of things that get you in that headspace that says digital isn't working.
What he said.
So that rounds us up to, well, we have some extras, but I don't know if we'll get it, but I want to round us up just to here. Let's shed some light on what are the future trends in digital marketing optimization. What can we expect?
Future trends in digital marketing optimization. I don't know. AI. I mean, that if we had to take a trend, that is one of the trends that we look at. But I'm going to say this, and I say this, I'm going to say this all the time about AI. How are you using AI in your business, right? You got to prepare your business for AI. How are you using it? If you're using it to optimize your email marketing, you're using it to write content, you're using it to produce images, how are you going to use it? And where do you see the efficiencies, right? Because maybe you have someone who's writing copy, but now that person can leverage AI to start writing that copy, and it can save them time. If it says, hey, it's saving them X amount of time, that means it's saving you money, right? Because time saving is also related to saving money. So understanding the AI, also understanding the AI tool that you are going to use. AI can push you down a rabbit hole, so it can also add more time to your day as well too, because you can kind of get caught up in all the things that it's doing for you. What is the right tool there? AI, you also want to consider the tools that you're using in your business already. Do they have AI elements in it that you want to be able to leverage, right? So making sure that you're at 100% utilization with all your tools. The other thing you want to consider is really preparing your business for voice, for those voice searches, right? We're using voice searches more and more and more. So how do you get yourself ready to be prepared for voice searching? You want to look at the trends. Personalization is key, and you can, get really granular with the personalization as well too. As a small business, you can leverage your CRM to get more and more granular. If someone took these 5 steps, I'm now going to present them with this information, this information, this information, and telling the AI tools to then pull the information and send it over, right? So you want to make sure that you are in a space where you're paying attention to trends, because not what is trendy. We're not saying go dance on TikTok, but what are the trends that the data is saying? What are the trends that are coming along that you now need to say, how does this fit into my business? AI has exploded the world, right? Our voice tools have exploded in the world. So how does that fit into my business? And then pay attention to what you're reading on a consistent basis about digital and digital marketing. And then check out this show like this, right? We give you all the information about what is really relevant for trends in your business, in your small business, in your B2B space. So yeah, I think that's some stuff there.
And I think there's one that we may have to pull a string on for another show, but privacy. We've got to start talking privacy, because that's coming to the fore more and more. So that was it, but we're going to throw in a lanyard for you, even with the 60 seconds we have less. And it's more statement. How important is it that small businesses stay updated with the latest digital marketing trends for optimization purposes? Well, it's very important. As we've been talking, all of these areas, optimization means dealing with constant change. So we are all using platforms where the algorithms change, where the AI has been implemented. So you need to stay on top of these things to understand if your content is the right content, if your actions are the right actions that get you the result that you needed. And I'll take some final comments going around the table. This was a really excited morning kind of thing.
It was. You were on fire today, Michael. I mean, got us straight today. I think what I've enjoyed about this conversation and how it is, we've been gradually building on everything, in especially in the AI optimization space, is, to me, it's speed to market. It's faster decisions. It's helping you to get to the sale faster in a smarter way that will meet your revenue goals. And in today's age of give it to me now, I don't have time to talk to you, or I give it to me. I'm enjoying this piece because we're helping our small businesses find that space in a comfortable fashion, in a consumable way that they can digest and then move and put it into practice fairly quickly. So I've enjoyed this conversation thoroughly, with exception to the hot topic today, Nia.
Optimization for me, when I look at it, optimization equals, money coming into the bank faster, right? That's the end goal at the end of the day. It's eventually going to lead you to a place where money gets that funnel gets converted quicker, and the quicker the conversion, the quicker you translate all that effort into money in the bank. Just think about it from that perspective. That's my final thought.
It's the easiest strategy that you have, when things are hitting and you're like, all right, cool, what do I do next? Go to optimization. It is the most important strategy. It's the easiest thing to do because you have the information. And where do you start with optimization? Start with your ideal customer. If you have that 2, 3, 5, 10, 100 ideal customers in your database, start with them and work your way back. Understanding that ideal customer really gets you to the heart of a plan for optimization, because where did they come in? How did they come in? What's their behavior? What do they like? What don't they like? You can survey them, you can get more information from them, but that really helps you to get to that place of optimizing more, because the end result you want is more of your ideal targets. So start with your ideal customer, not your target audience. You already know who that is. Go to your database and be like, these are the people that cost me the least to do business with, right? They paid me, $30,000. They're actually getting $30,000 worth of services, not $60,000 worth of services, right? That's who your ideal customer is. So they cost you the least to do business, and they're actually in your database advocating for you, doing all those things. So you want to start with that and work your way back to getting to that place of optimization.
And that brings us to the top of the show. This was a great one. If you're just tuning in, we were talking about optimization for small businesses today. Please go back and listen. And tomorrow, I just don't think I can do that call to action as smoothly as you do. So I'm going to pass it back to you. But thanks for letting me play this morning. This was a great topic.
Definitely. So guys, we want you to connect with us, right? Make sure that you're connecting with us. Tell small business executives about this show. We understand that digital can be daunting, right? The numbers, the analytics, all the things that you hear. Is it impressions? Is it follows? Is it what? We want to help you define that here at this show. We want to help you get to that place of digital increase my revenue by 10%, digital increase my revenue by 20%, because those are the conversations that businesses understand, that business owners understand, that business executives understand. You are tied to your goals, and we want to help you achieve those goals. So check us out on YouTube at Your Business in Digital. Check us out on LinkedIn at Your Business in Digital. And guess what? We're everywhere podcasts are found. So check us out there as well. Listen to us, share the show, give us your feedback. We love doing this, and we want to help you get to that place of money in the bank. Really go beyond the likes and follows with digital and digital marketing and all your efforts. You're spending a lot of money on it. We know that. So we want to help you. Have an amazing day. Or wait, I don't know if it's saying goodbye yet. Are we ready? Yeah. No. Have an amazing day. Thank you for joining us. This was a great show. Michael, thank you so much. Michelle, Andrea, always a pleasure to be on stage with you guys. Have a great day. Thanks, Nia.